shit, I can't do this anymore. And I thought maybe I had some weird, crazy idea of one more match, but no. But at the same time, like,
all right, live. Good evening to you all. We didn't think we'd be doing this tonight. I thought I was going to sit down tonight. I thought I was going to get a break from wrestling talk. I really wanted to just sit down, take a little bit of time off, break from wrestling talk, but the Ultimate Warrior, as we're finding out, has passed away. He's dead. The Ultimate Warrior is freaking dead. We just saw him on Raw the other night. We just saw him at the Hall of Fame. He was at WrestleMania. He was signed a 2-year contract with the WWE, apparently, as an ambassador. He's got the 2K thing with the game that he did. He's got 2 little girls and a wife. I mean, I don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. None of this. I mean, I can't even believe I'm reading stuff like Triple H and Stephanie and Jim Ross remember the Warrior. How can you remember? He just was here. I can't even begin to start talking about remembrance of somebody. I don't believe they're gone yet. I mean, we talked about the other night. He didn't look very good coming down to the ring. He was kind of, you know, walking like a Frankenstein.
But the timing is just so weird, unless his body was like just waiting for him to appear on Raw, knowing that would be his last appearance, and then it just gave out on him or something. Like, I don't know. It seems more. I mean, the timing makes it seem more likely that something more tragic happened, and that's something I don't want to believe. You know?
Right. Details are still unknown on the Ultimate Warrior's sudden passing, but reactions are starting to pour in from the wrestling world. Yeah, the reactions are here. But the information isn't yet, and which is something that I want to know. I really don't want this to be. I want to know because I don't want it to be something bad. I don't want it to be worse than what it already is. I mean, remember we talked about he was battling with what he was going to say in the Hall of Fame, like he was struggling?
Yeah.
The Warrior on YouTube would just go at it. And that's it. And he did look tough on Raw the other night. And many people are saying he didn't look good. Even some of the you streamers right now that are watching and some of the guys on YouTube. Christos D says, oh my God, he didn't look so good. Nora Archo says, oh my fucking God. His face was red on Raw. Looked like he was going to pass out. This sucks. I think it sucks. And I'm just, I really don't know what to do right now. I gotta be. This is the first time I'm just like deer in the headlights. You thought I was shocked after the Undertaker lost. I mean, this is just hitting me like a sack of bricks.
Even his promo on Raw the other night, he was talking about men breathing their last breath, and the Warrior will live on in the hearts of the fans. And
it's a very, very strange. Tommy C, what's up? Tommy? I guess he's muted, but
all right, I'm sorry.
Oh, there you are. There you are.
I just wanted to join you guys and maybe listen and comment if it's okay.
No, I'm glad you're here because I don't know. This is so. I don't know if you watch Raw, but Ultimate Warrior was on Raw.
Correct.
Cut his promo. He did the Hall of Fame speech, which was like, 20 minutes, 25, 30 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you to whoever. I wish I could remember who was the first one to tell me this just happened, but one of my subscribers told me about this about 10 minutes ago or 15 minutes ago. And we actually beat most people to like announcing this, so I thought there would be more information, and I didn't know I was one of the first people to start talking about it. But really it was the subscriber who tipped me off to it. And that's when I started. I immediately went to WWE.com, and I thought someone was messing with me big time. I didn't think this was real.
I didn't believe you when you told me, and then I saw the tweet from Triple H, and then Stephanie retweeted it, and then it was on the website.
Well, the tweet from Triple H is only about 40 minutes old. I mean, they must have just gotten this information within the last 2 hours. I mean, at minimum.
Yeah, and you know what's torturous is we're gonna have to go to bed at some point and wake up and maybe have answers. Maybe. I mean, I'm trying to think of what happens in these instances and how long these things take to trickle down until we get the real details. I want to say it's sometimes days, sometimes weeks.
Well,
if it was, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. Unless it's something tragic, obvious, like a car accident or something. And by the way, I'm not putting any rumors out there. I don't want to say anything of that because I don't know. Nobody has any information left.
Yeah, nobody knows.
Triple H, unless it's something very obvious, you could be looking at up to 2 to 3 weeks after an autopsy in a situation like this, unless it's something that's apparent and you can see it at the scene, so to speak.
I just can't believe it, man. He was just here. I know that's what everyone says. He was just here. Yeah, well now he's not. And but I get it. It's just weird. This has been some weird stuff the last week. Between the Undertaker losing, but then the Warrior is dead. I can't even fathom it. But you're right. He came down the ring. He didn't look the greatest. He was shaky. He wanted to shake the ropes, but he really had a tough time doing it. And I remember thinking, man, that's so weird because I saw him at an indie event, I think about a year and a half, maybe a year and a half or 2 years ago, where he came out and he didn't look the greatest in the ring, but he was doing the shaking the ropes, he was running off the ropes, he was doing all the stuff he would do. And I was like, oh, you know, he could still do something. You know, it would be very quick. Remember, we even talked about it at WrestleMania or something like a squash match he had with Triple H at WrestleMania 12.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Like he could come back and do something little like that, and I was basing that off of that indie promotion that I saw him at. Like, oh well, if he can do that, I mean, he could do a little squash thing. It'd be kind of funny. Have him come out there and do that. And what I saw at the Hall of Fame, especially, you can always tell by how they walk. First of all, I was like, damn, he walks like that. I didn't think he was that bad off. I mean, I thought the same thing when Jake came out too. By the way, when Jake came out, I realized, oh man, he can't really take a bump, you know, right. Really. Although I know,
but even Jake looked better when he appeared on Raw that night, though.
What the hell was it that Jake said? I need to get that quote because I keep bringing it up. It's the saddest, deepest thing. It's the guy should write poetry or something, or like write depressing or inspirational, or maybe it's anti-inspirational, but it's the guy should write deep words or poems or just whatever he says. It should be written down. Because what did he say, Chris? Do you remember what I'm talking about? The thing I keep raving about?
Yeah, the fans were saying one more match or something like that, and his response was, oh no, they were saying you still got it, and he said, no, I don't, but in my heart and in my mind, I still want it.
Oh my God, that's what it was. Yeah. Oh my God, there was you still got it. No, but in my heart and in my head, I still want it. Then right. that was, oh my God. And maybe the Warrior, he was back and forth. You could tell he was still hurt about that DVD because he kept bringing it up. It's like when you talk to a drunk person or somebody who just can't get over something and they just keep bringing up these things. And we're going to cleanse ourselves. I didn't think I'd be live right now. I was about to play Diablo, hang out. And now this has happened. Dude's one of my childhood heroes. 713, you're on. What's up?
Yeah, man. I just heard the news because I wanted to watch your live show right now, and all of a sudden I see that Ultimate Warrior is dead, and then I was in total shock. I was like, wait a minute, this can't be true. I'm still in shock right now. But
people think I was trolling. They were like, no, go fuck yourself, Joe. That's terrible.
You would do something like that.
I know, that's the thing. That's why people are like, oh my God, you're terrible. I'm like, no, this is real.
Yeah, I watched it. Right now I'm watching your live show, you know, to discuss it. But I did a little bit of research on my own. I went to TMZ. They have 2 tweets from Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. One tweet from Triple H was that he let's see if I can find it right here. He says that saddened to announce the passing of the Ultimate Warrior, icon and friend. My sympathy to his wife, Donna, and his daughters. And Stephanie, man, put hashtag RIP Ultimate Warrior. Your strength of character is to be admired. There will never be anyone like you. Your spirit lives on in your family. But so far, the causes of Warrior's death is still unclear. You know, all they just know right now is that, you know, of his passing. But I'm just still in disbelief right now. Like, I don't know. I couldn't see why not he would why he would pass, because the guy looks such in good shape. You know, like any other wrestlers, any other legends that are today besides Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, and I don't think he ever got to make up with Hogan. I don't know if he ever would have, because he's a straight shooter. You know, Hogan always, you know, did his little squirmy things here or there, and I feel like the Warrior would call him right out to his face, where a lot of other people would blow it off, and that works for Hogan, but it doesn't work when you call him out and want to fight him, which is what, you know, Macho did at one point, you know, which is what Warrior did, and they never really, you know, got back together there. They Warrior cut some crazy promos on him on YouTube. I know that. 216 is with us as well, you know.
What do you think, in your personal opinion, what happened to Warrior today?
I really don't know at this point. But like Chris said, I think the most interesting thing with this whole thing is, like Chris said, is it coincidence? I mean, it can't be really coincidence, right? That he was at the Hall of Fame. He was on Raw just last night, and right after that, or today, he passed away. And whether that means that all this animosity, all this happiness, all this, the blood pumping through his body, the excitement, all this stuff triggered a heart attack, you know, along with, you know, you're talking steroids too. I mean, you're talking abuse, you know what I mean, in the ring, steroids, and a heart condition. I mean, the guy was in good shape. You know, he worked out. He didn't eat terrible. You know,
there's a lot of wrestlers that passed away in excellent shape over the years. I mean, this is, I mean, this is really, I think, rather than speculating on what happened to the Warrior, because certainly we're going to find out. I mean, I think this might be a bigger conversation about, this is another wrestler who has passed away, early middle age again, and it doesn't. It's not a freak anymore. There is something to this business. You know, yes, Warrior grew up in that time where the drug abuse was common, and so supposedly WWE has gotten a hold of it in recent years. But this is another tragedy in a long line, and we have to ask ourselves at some point: are we doing enough at this point? Can more be done? And is it really worth it to live your life like this in wrestling? We all admire wrestlers and die so young, and this is just another example of that. And that's the conversation. I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to run your show, Joe, but I think that's the conversation we probably should be having.
Yeah, I guess.
I just hope. Sorry about that, but I just hope to God that it didn't have to be any suicidal thoughts, or it had to be with dealing with drugs. I just hope, because that wouldn't be Warrior at all, you know.
Yeah. I just hope it wasn't the overwhelming stuff, you know, being overwhelmed with everything he's been going through the last few days, everything that was good. I wouldn't want everything that was good, you know what I mean, to kill him. I mean, it'd be one thing if he was just with his wife or by himself, but the problem I have with the whole thing is his two little kids, the two little girls that he kept bringing up on stage at the end of the Hall of Fame, and, you know, his wife was crying, and he mentioned his wife, and he mentioned his mother. His mother was there, and it was now it's really cryptic when I think about his comments at the end and the beginning of the Hall of Fame. But I can't even get into all that stuff, that steroid thing. I can't even go there yet. I don't know if I'm ready to go there. Maybe that's where we're supposed to go. Maybe that's where ESPN would go. That's where TMZ or those people would go. I don't know. That's where they would go. But I'm just not. I don't know. Right now I'm worried about how this happened. I want to know how it happened. And
but you know what? At least his last moments, and it's so like inconvenient. At least his last moments was to be admitted to the Hall of Fame. And then yesterday he saw his last night being with his fans and being in the ring that he loved the most for so many years that he's been wrestling. For so many years that he's been holding titles and having great matches with icons. And last night was the last night that he saw it. You know, I guess that was you know, it's pretty weird. You know, it's like a movie. Like it's kind of like The Wrestler. You know, you have your last match. You know, your last sighting of your whole fans and the last ring, and then you all of a sudden like, you know,
it really it is like a movie. That's what that's exactly what it feels like right now. It feels like this was the end to a movie, but it's the bad part is about his family, is about his kids, is about he said I'm not wrestling again, and he brought it up kind of almost bizarrely, like when they said one more match for him and everything.
Yeah.
And he didn't really want to respond to it, almost in a very strange way. But I don't know. I don't know what's we don't know, and I wish I did. It kills me not to know what's really happened here.
Well, I was wondering, did Warrior know that he was terminally ill, which then led him to making peace with the WWE overall, or was it like a freak accident now?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we don't know that. And they gave him the, I don't know. It's so tough to figure that out. There's so many different avenues this could take. This could be, just a coincidence heart attack. It could be a heart attack that's obviously brought on by all this excitement and the anxiety and all the stuff that he's gone through. It could just be completely random. It could be some terminal thing that we didn't know about or he knew about. Maybe the WWE didn't even know about it. Maybe.
Or look at Eddie Guerrero. He died at 38 from atherosclerosis. So, it just could be anything,
Yeah.
And Eddie was in good shape, too. It's not like he died from, you could say the abuse of steroids and other painkillers could have contributed a little bit. But when it comes down to it, just some things just as little as diet can affect people dying this young. But Tommy makes a good point where when it comes to wrestlers, there's got to be something more to it, whether it is suicide, whether it is a health issue, whether it is a car accident, no matter what the cause, it just seems like all these wrestlers are dying young and there is no rhyme or reason to it, aside from the fact that they're all wrestlers. So what about just that day in, day out, 300 day a year work schedule that can just destroy your body in a multitude of different ways and your mind?
I honestly think that's the worst tragedy at all, because we talk about cleaning up the drug portion. No athlete in the world like wrestlers, and it's become like this is what makes you tough. This is what makes you a pro wrestler. This 360 some odd days of the year, and they have zero union. They don't have any time off. Would it really hurt us that much? Is after WrestleMania every year these guys get 30 days off? And it gives them time to heal. It gives the writers time to regroup. But we don't have that because Vince McMahon has to get those house shows. He has to get those dark matches in, and he has to cash in. These guys are run until they drop dead. And it should be no surprise that guys barely reach 60s. And I think that's the bigger issue.
But see, you're attacking Vince when, maybe it's,
the wrestlers want to do it.
Yeah, but
I'm attacking the whole mentality of wrestling. It's just there's too many guys. If this happened once in a while, I'd totally blow it off. But we're talking in the last 15 years, the amount of wrestlers that have died, it's incredible. Under tragedy, under suicide. It's beyond.
I think there's a lot of things. It's not necessary. It's not Vince McMahon. It's not WWE. It's not none of that. What it is you're living a high. You're living a crazy lifestyle, above normal lifestyle, a different lifestyle with less structure. Someone like CM Punk or somebody like that isn't going to have this problem. You know what I mean?
Rock stars notoriously die at really young ages too, they don't work 300 days a year.
It's the same thing as rock stars. It's not about It's not about that. It's the out of control, I am bigger than life feeling that you continuously get, and the high you get is the high when you get off the stage, and no one's. I know about this because I feel the same way. I on a much smaller level, but when I used to wrestle in the indies, or when I used to wrestle, just at little stupid high school gyms, man, 40 people cheering, and I would do something crazy. I'd be like, man, I'm gonna make these people do something. I'll do a flip off this top post. I'll throw myself into something. I'll cut my head. I'll do something. These people are gonna be happy, and then I just can't. I take all that energy in, and it's amazing, the feeling. And the minute you leave that place, nobody knows you again. and you start to just come down like, oh man. And there's times even now that I sit here and I'm like, I just sit there looking at a wall like, what this, like, I should be in the ring. I should be doing that. Yeah. I feel like that. So imagine what the wrestlers, Leah's laughing at me right now, by the way. But it's true. I'm dead serious. I never talk about it, and I really don't. It's why I fight a freaking stuffed animal sometimes. It's why I have a YouTube channel to talk about wrestling. So listen, if you live that lifestyle, but when you're on top and you're actually doing it, it just gets out of control. You're going to take more steroids. I'm going to take more muscle builders. I'm going to body build all day long. I'm going to get
or if you're clean, I'm just going to work 300 days a year and I can do it, and I know I can do it because the adrenaline tricks you into thinking that your body can handle it.
Yeah, and if you're clean, your adrenaline runs, your determination runs, you're just all about it. Look at guys like John Cena. It's just all about a go attitude. Put all the cups in the right spot.
Macho Man had a heart attack and then a car accident due to the heart attack, and he was pretty clean throughout his career, you know?
Yeah, I think we're all thinking heart attack right now. If you had to say, all right, why is the Warrior gone right now? You tell me, I'm putting a gun to your head, which is double scary. But no, I would say, you know what I mean? I would say, listen, I think it's heart attack is my guess, and I hope it's not anything other than that. To be honest, because if it's something like suicide or something like that, that goes against everything that he was about, everything that he said the last few days about never giving up in Warriors and doing everything and believing in the Warrior. That's why I called myself Warrior. I changed my goddamn name because I believe in this lifestyle that you keep going, and that's what he just said. So that I find it really hard to believe that he's dead of anything other than some kind of accident or his heart.
No one knows anything about his drug use. Like, was he into drugs or anything like that? Or was he clean and sober these days? Does anyone know anything about that?
I've never come across him recreational drugs.
We don't know.
Okay.
Steroids I've heard of.
Because, I mean, the other thing is like, oh, the big celebration after the Hall of Fame and Raw, maybe he went a little overboard. I mean, that's something that rock stars do, where after like their biggest show of the year, they'll when they're on top of the world, they die because they partied too hard to celebrate their life, you know?
I don't think that I don't think it was about partying. I don't think he parties.
Right. Yeah, I don't think that was the case either.
My main question is where was he after Raw? Like did he go on the road with the guys, or did he go on the road by himself back to his family? Like, I just want to know where was his last moments at.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon has commented on the Ultimate Warrior passing. Natural causes is reported, by the way. Now natural causes is being reported. Vince McMahon tweeted the following about the Ultimate Warrior's death. We are all sad that the Ultimate Warrior has passed away. Our hearts are with his wife and his 2 daughters. Details are still unknown in regards to how Warrior passed away, but word going around is that it was from natural causes, which would trigger heart attack for me.
Yeah.
Or a blood clot, something. I don't know.
Natural causes just simply means he wasn't murdered. I mean, let's face it. I mean, what is that? I mean, if I were to die of a heart attack, I'm 37 years old. There'd be natural causes, but I mean, it would certainly be something unnatural to die at my age. And you know, with 54 is a little too young to die. You know.
I don't know of any existing ailments either. I don't know what he could have had. I mean, my dad died at 48 of a heart attack, but my dad had diabetes. You know, so I don't know of I didn't know what the Warrior has. I don't. I have not come across anything with it. Christo says Warrior died. Page 1, Divas Championship. Fandango broke up with Summer Rae because of the loss against Emma. What's next? No one gives a shit about Fandango, man. Matt J. Hendricks. By the way, I heard you calling earlier, buddy. I just didn't get to it. My bad. We're going around WWE is that he died from natural causes. Yep, Tony just said that too. Let's add Matt the Misfit over here to this memorial, I guess. I don't know what we're doing. Matt, you there?
I agree.
Okay. What the hell? What was that about? I think it was that the Warrior trying to come into the show. I'll take that as a sign. Hello?
I'm here.
Oh my God! What the hell happened to you? It sounds like shit now.
Does it? Does it sound any better now?
Oh my God.
What happened to you?
Yeah, it sounds better now. It sounded like you were.
Oh, okay.
There was a lawnmower running you over, and your audio dropped.
Yeah.
That's weird. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Your audio just dropped quality. I don't know what it is.
Still?
I think we'd like to take a second to honor the Warrior. In all real seriousness here, Chris Tosevich, if you would like to go ahead and honor the Ultimate Warrior who's passed away. Took a shot for the Warrior. Oh man, and I got really bad heartburn, but I'm doing it for him.
Very nice, Chris.
I will never forget when I first saw the Ultimate Warrior when I was a kid, man. And my son the other day he picked up the first toy. I don't know if this is ominous or whatever, but the bunch of toys, bunch of wrestlers in my little box of old wrestlers that we gave him, my old toys. And he picked up the guy and he goes, "Hey, is this the Ultimate Warrior?" I was like, "Yeah, that's him. I like this guy." And I remember I got that toy from a friend, from a cousin. And I remember at the time I was in New Hampshire, and remember not a lot of people liked wrestling. I mean, people did like wrestling, but it was kind of on the low key, and it was just kind of coming out of that big period of the 80s into right after WrestleMania 6 with the Warrior versus Hogan. And I remember he gave me that Warrior toy that I have is the one he gave me. Just gave me as a present or something. He wanted to give it to me. And his mother was like, "Yeah, go ahead." And I was like, "Really?" And I love this. I was pumped up because I wanted that Warrior toy for like years, but I didn't get it, even though I had a Hulk Hogan one. And so I was pumped up to have it. And I just remember feeling like, "Oh, someone else likes wrestling. This is so cool." And of course, years later, everyone started to become a fan. And I remember always being excited too when the Warrior would come back. Anytime the Warrior would come back, from whatever reason, we didn't know why he was gone, and people thought he was dead at WrestleMania 8. They thought it was some different Warrior that came out to save, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. What's up, Joe?
And Old School Matt has now joined us as well.
I've looked it up, and actually, by definition, a natural cause is anything that does not directly influenced by external forces.
Pretty much what I said, but New Jersey.
Well, it could be a heart attack, or it could even be complications from something like influenza.
Right. Which I don't think it was that, but I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can, get, or sicknesses or things that can happen. We don't know. I sure would like to know. I'm assuming if we don't know tomorrow, I'm assuming then we're not going to know until the autopsy, like Tommy said, 2 weeks or however long it takes until the family gets all the news, Yeah, it could take weeks. It could take a month. I mean, God, I don't know. But, I mean, they'll throw out natural causes, so you know that. And WWE, and by the way, it's in WWE's interest to throw out natural causes quickly, because the media will pounce all over this and attack them, because that's what they like to do. Especially the liberal media. They'll go after Vince.
And let me ask you, would you rather remember him like the WWE would go out with him as natural causes, so to speak? Or do you actually want them to drag up all this dirt?
I want to know. Yeah, I do. I do want to know. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that he said the last few days that led you towards pushing yourself forward and being all that you can be, or whatever, so to speak, type of speech, type of talk.
And you're right. Over the weekend and leading into Monday Night Raw, he was really, really not himself.
Yeah, you got to look at Raw.
Yeah, I will admit it that, yeah, I noticed it. But I just figured, oh, he was older. I mean, it's been maybe 2 years since I saw him wrestle in a ring. It's been 2 years. It's been maybe a year or two, year and a half since I've seen him really go into somebody on YouTube or go into something on YouTube. Maybe only 6 months, actually.
Plus him next to Jake and Mean Gene Okerlund. I mean, just everyone just looks so old and out of shape anyway that like it just kind of looks normal, you know?
Yeah.
It would be hard to. It would have been hard for us to differentiate who looks worse, Jake, Warrior, Mean Gene, any of the legends, you know?
Honestly, out of everyone I've seen over the weekend, the person I think who looks the worst is actually the Dead Man.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I mean, answer me this: Jake the Snake's the one with cancer, then why did the Undertaker look like he just got out of chemo?
The Undertaker sustained a severe concussion early on in the match, and it's being really.
No, I meant leading up to WrestleMania.
Oh.
Leading up to WrestleMania, I kept thinking, okay, why does he look like he went through chemo? Because he looked thinner than usual.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. His head was really thin. He looked more like a turtle. It's because he's older and he's bald. I mean, you know, he's not really working out. I think he was done. He's ready to be done.
The skin on his face is loosening up.
Yeah, he had a huge tan, which was weird. Everything was a little off about him, and then he wore the vest he wore out to the ring had that red on it, and that looked different. Everything was a little bit different, but I think suffering the concussion early in the match, from what I understand, Brock had to carry most of the match because Undertaker was basically didn't know what was going on.
And imagine that, like you're Brock Lesnar, and your job is, all right, you have to look like you're beating the living shit out of this person, and at the same time make sure that you're extra careful with them and treat them like they're walking on a cloud. You know,
right?
That's a tough position.
What I loved about that match was Paul Heyman legitimately did look surprised at everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did. Actually, he did a really good job of looking surprised and not like retarded. You know what I mean? Like he could have oversold it and looked stupid.
But then again, how do you oversell being amazed at beating the Undertaker?
I think that's the thing is you really can't. I mean, look at the dude in the front, the black guy in the front row.
Yeah.
And I say the black guy because everybody else they showed was a white person who looked like they just lost money in the stock market.
Right.
Did you notice that? Like some of the white people.
Stock market, but I lost a $50 bet.
Well, some of the white people, the one guy was scraping his face. That was cool. There was other guys who like were staring, but I noticed that there was a lot of the white people looked like if they had millions of dollars, but they were just found out that their bank account had been emptied. That's what they look like.
Matt, who did you lose $50 to? Because unless it was me, who the fuck else would bet against the Undertaker?
Right, but the black guy had the look of like.
My buddy Justin, he's like Jaron for Brock Lesnar.
Okay.
Right, that's funny. Where was Jaron last night? I haven't heard from him. I don't think.
He texted me today. He said he fell asleep last night.
Oh, good. Okay, as long as he's alive. I mean, we really had a lot. We were almost asleep last night for the Raw review. I mean, I'm gonna go to bed and have nightmares tonight from this. I really am very at a loss for words. I mean, is this going to be? I mean, we're gonna get a memorial thing here. I don't even know what they're gonna do. He just signed on 2 years ambassador to WWE. I'm pumped up about that. I've always been pumped up for when the Ultimate Warrior comes back. He came back at WrestleMania 8 to save Hulk Hogan from Papa Shango. Somebody in the chat said Papa Shango's curse finally worked. By the way, that's terrible.
The WWE won't openly admit anything too much until at least Monday.
Yeah.
By next Monday, I'm pretty sure Vince McMahon will come out and address this and, makes his condolences to his family in the public.
How bad do you think Hulk? I mean, Hulk Hogan doesn't give a shit. How bad do you think? Like, you think the WWE as a whole is kind of like, oh man. You know what I mean? They put that DVD out of him, and he rambled about that multiple times. Like, it really bothers him. And you know what? When that DVD first came out, I watched it and was like, this is awesome. And then they started being like, oh my God, like, I can't believe they're saying these things about him.
And the thing is, I think, and I don't want to get sued about this, but that DVD may have contributed a little bit. I mean, they got people fucking trash. They got his blood pressure up. They got him stressed out.
Yeah, he looked it. He looked it. If you watch... You watch the Hall of Fame, and then he commented on how he always sweats a lot. He's like, I told you I sweat a lot and everything. And he started wiping his head, and he was...
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
He was...
Yeah.
But I thought maybe he just was at a loss for words and didn't know if he wanted to talk about how angry he was at the WWE or if he wanted to, do the thing he was supposed to do and just kind of, has already buried the hatchet and be the ambassador. But he
didn't know whether to speak out for himself or to be the good employee.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was doing, but he's not used to doing that. So he was like, no, F it, I'm going to cut into them a little bit. And then he tried to go back into something else, and then he came back to it again. But that DVD, man, I'll tell you, that broke my heart. And that's what he said. And you watch that whole Hall of Fame speech, and I don't know, but if it's natural causes, what would tell me what happens if he doesn't get inducted in the Hall of Fame and he doesn't come on Raw the other night? What happens then? Is he alive, or is this contributed to it?
Yeah.
If that's what happened, oh man, it's so horrible. Like, it doesn't matter if it's just natural causes, heart gave out on him. It's still horrible to me because I can't help but think, oh man, all this shit the last few days is what did it.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the steroids that he did years ago, and now they've caught up to him. I mean, it seems to me when you take a lot of steroids and you get to be real bulky and everything, and then your blood pressure rises when you're older, that you seem to not do well with that.
That means Brock Lesnar's going to die really young.
Tony Spicciali in the chat says that Lance Storm retweeted a Wade Keller tweet that says, TMZ reports that Warrior collapsed Tuesday at 5:50 p.m. while walking to his car at an Arizona hotel and was taken to a hospital and pronounced dead.
It's 2 hours ago. If it's in the East Coast.
Yeah.
It's 2 hours ago.
Oh, no, Arizona. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right. So,
Joe, look, people go when they're ready to go. I don't mean to put, it might have been just very simply his time. We're all going to die. Every single one of us. I think, maybe, talking about, I guess, to try to put a more positive spin on the whole thing. Not that you can spin this positively, but to talk about, the way the Warrior, how we like the Warrior. He's really the first guy that had that super rock and roll entrance, and it really kind of changed wrestling. That huge entrance that he had, not just with the physical things that he did, but the actual the music they had. It actually started to change wrestling to what we kind of know now. He was like the first guy that had that killer entrance. Instead of kind of wondering what happened, because we're certainly going to find out, and it's going to be tragic no matter what the situation, whether it contributed or whether it didn't, or maybe it was just time. It could be any of the above.
I understand. That's where I come in with. I understand if he didn't have kids, But
in the words of Willow, we love, we hate, we die.
And then he says something else that we don't know.
Yeah, and the whole thing was we love, we hate, we die, forever late in Willow's way.
Oh, okay. All right. See, I thought you said masturbate.
Oh, hell no. If Jeff Hardy's going to do that, he needs a mirror or at least a picture of his brother.
Oh, man. My favorite Ultimate Warrior promo, by the way, is when he's screaming at Hulk Hogan. And he's like, you have to ask yourself what you're going to do, Hulk Hogan. Like, should I go to Africa and let them run me over with wild elephants? Should I throw myself off the World Trade Center?
Hulk Hogan!
Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan. Assume
I don't know if
the
you
controls.
ever mentioned it, but Ultimate Warrior was
Hulk
actually
Hogan.
on a TV show, I believe in the 80s, and he just tore up the whole damn set. Like, he flipped up chairs and couches and everything, and then they went straight to guy said, man, we're have to go to commercial break after this.
Oh man, this is weird and tough. I didn't think this was gonna have to happen tonight. So I can't believe this. I'm so angry.
Think about this, Joe. The Ultimate Warrior wasn't the type of person who would want people mourning his death. He'd want them celebrating the life he lived.
He'd probably want me to start doing push-ups right now or something.
I'm lanky. I can't do push-ups.
Maybe I'll just in honor of him, I'll do push-ups. I'll just constantly do push-ups over and over again until I can't take it anymore and I throw up all over the place. And that's my honor to him. Guys, this is youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. Unwillingly here with you live tonight with all kinds of people in the Skype. We've got 7 people here. I don't even know who everybody is. But no, we've got a shot from the points. Tommy C. Chris Tosevich, my co-host, is here. Tommy C. is shot from the point. Matt, old school Matt. We get a couple other callers with us as well. I don't even know who everybody is right now. I'm so cluster-butted. We're the only wrestling show covering this live instantly, thanks to one of our fans who I had no idea this was going on, and then he let me know about it. And Black Mamba says, Joe, are you going to do Iron Sheik tweets this week because he ripped the Warrior? Oh, did he rip the Warrior? I didn't know that.
Actually,
Right.
Sheik just tweeted, "Break my heart. I love you forever." Hashtag rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior.
Well, that's funny how you just brought up the Sheik. Yesterday he was actually talking about the Undertaker being a conspiracy about Brock Lesnar, and then the interviewer, because it was TMZ who interviewed him, and the guy asked him, out of anybody in Hollywood, who would you want to put a camel clutch on? And then he said the Ultimate Warrior.
The Warrior.
Flat out.
This was all in TMZ earlier, right? When the Iron Sheik said that he would put the camel clutch on the Ultimate Warrior. Talk about bad timing for the Sheik.
Yeah. You know, it's no secret that he was not loved in the locker room. I mean, I mean, Tasevich knows all about that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows all about not being loved. Tosevich knows a whole lot about that.
I know he gets along with Mick Foley pretty well.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would say he didn't get along with anybody, but I mean, this was not a popular guy in the locker room.
I was talking about Tosevich.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't like loved. Like he didn't do what everybody else did. He did his own deal. He said, you know, this is what I'm doing. I'm focused on me, and that's what I'm doing. And you know what I mean. And whereas Hulk Hogan and everybody else played the massage, the jerk you off game. It's kind of like America. You know what I mean? Ultimate Warrior was like a different country, and then everyone else was America. You know, everybody else in America strokes each other. You know, Hulk Hogan comes in the room, strokes you, but lies to your face while he jerks you off. Then he goes and jerks someone else off, and then the other guy finds that he lied to him. Then when he comes to Hogan, Hogan says, "Hey, I don't know what you're talking about, brother," and then rubs him off. And then it's all one just big stroke jerk-off fest in the locker room until everyone's sort of angry and happy, and it's all goes along. Whereas Warrior just said, "Hey, I ain't jerking anybody off," and then people were kind of like, "What? Who the fuck do you think you are not jerking us off? What the fuck is that about?" So all that lying and shit that all these other scumbags were doing in the back was okay because they were all doing it. But the Warrior was the guy who was like, "Hey, no, I'm not down with that." It's not that he was a better guy than everybody or whatever. He just was like, "No, I'm not down with that." It'd be like if you went to a casino or something. I don't know. It'd be like if you were in like a town, where the drugs were going on. Everybody does drugs everywhere or whatever, and everyone's expected to sell and do drugs, and that's what they do. Those movies you see in Mexico, or those weird movies about the cartels and taking over towns and shit. And then they go to Warrior's house, and Warrior doesn't care about drugs. He just wants to fucking smoke a cigarette and have sex with women. And you know what I mean, and watch TV or something. I don't know. And they're like, "Well, yeah, you got to hold it. We're gonna put these drugs in your mailbox over here. So just so you know, and someone's gonna pick them up at 6 o'clock." And then Warrior's like, "Get the fuck out of here. I don't want any of that shit near me." And they're like, "Oh, you don't want to play the fucking game?" Bang! Bullet in the heart. But everybody else is okay because they just play the game. And
that metaphor went forever.
Yeah. What am I talking about?
I don't know, to be honest.
That was great.
2 year. Oh well, no, I believe Warrior. Yeah, he signed a 2-year deal. That was a 2-year deal. But yeah, it was a big circle jerk, and he didn't want to be a part of it. And I mean, pick your. It's one of those things. Wasn't
there one person on that DVD who didn't bash him?
No. I know what they were talking about. Yes, he worked stiff, kinda. But one of the things I remember is Bobby Heenan being like, "I'll never forget he picked me up and he just dropped me or whatever." It's like, yeah, he did that to everybody. That was his thing. He just picked you up, drop you, and then he splashed you. But Heenan said it like it was the first time he ever did it, and it was a surprise. You know what I mean? Like he was telling a story about Warrior with like years later. This is years into his career, and he was like, "He just dropped you. He didn't care if you hurt you or what."
I didn't take that they, because I always thought, and I know Tasevich knows more than me, that they give each other cues when they're about to do something. And then the impression I got from Heenan, just to defend him a little bit, that Mr. Hellwig did not care about cues. And
I could see that.
That's how I took that.
I could see that, and he'd pick you up, and there was never a timing thing. It would just drop you. You're right, and you didn't know when it was coming.
That's how I took Heenan's statement.
Right.
Hey, look, the DVD was a squash job. I mean, look, I'm sure there's some legitimate criticism of Warrior, but it was one-sided. It was biased. You knew it when it came out.
You could have made a DVD like that about any wrestler, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. WWE said, let's just go out there and do this. It's a shoot. You know what I mean? It's the first shoot DVD we've released ever.
I guarantee every wrestler out there has enough dirt and enough people bitching about what they did or didn't do where they could just outline the negatives and filled 3 DVDs for everyone out there, from Randy Orton to John Cena. What's
weird, too, is even if you watch the DVD, Hulk Hogan's one of the guys who barely says much, doesn't even say that that much bad stuff about him. He kind of was like, "Hey, brother, you know, I was there," but Hogan is such a
because he knew his DVD was next. That's why.
What's really pissing me off is the WWE seems to think it was okay to do that as long by giving him a Hall of Fame ring. You can't just shit on someone and expect to buy him off with an expensive ring.
I think the thing is it's mutual because the Warrior is a very tough personality and the WWE can be too. And it goes both ways, and eventually people come back together at first for business, to be honest, but also for you know what I mean, for their own health. I mean, that's what happened with Bret Hart. Hey, come back here and let's all apologize, and now we want to let's make money again. And but it's more about making the money. It's more about, you know, so many years have passed. It's time to bury this hatchet. Now he never got to do it with Hogan though. That's the one thing is they never, from what I understand, they still hadn't talked.
Yeah.
So that's because Hogan's a whore.
Well, that's
bingo.
Yeah, that's a great point, and that's what he does. And listen, Shawn Michaels.
I mean, he's going to work for Dixie Carter of all people. He'll do anything.
Shawn Michaels in his post after finding Jesus, still had bad things to say about Hogan. If you remember that feud that he did with him, and HBK was trying not to, and he really tried not to say much, but you could tell Hogan was playing his tricks with HBK during that time. With and HBK said it in the interview, that he wanted it to be a, one of those good guy versus good guy. I just got to find out who's better type of deals. And Hulk Hogan wanted it to be, no, I want him to be the bad guy. And we want old Shawn Michaels. We want Attitude Era Shawn.
Hey, Joe, talk about contributing to somebody's death. Let's talk about Hogan for a little bit. He snitched on Jesse Ventura in the mid 80s when they wanted to form a union. And Hogan thought, oh my God, if they have a union, that might cut into my my overall. So he snitched on. He went to Vince. Vince cut Ventura, and they were supposedly very, very close to actually making a union.
Mm-hmm.
I got to be honest with you. I think you'd see these deaths go away in about 10 or 15 years if these guys just had a month or two off. If they had like a normal sports schedule.
Would we see the business suffer as a result of that? And then granted, yeah, the
these guys.
Are okay, but...
It's got to be better than this, Chris.
They would take their backpacks and they would go to Idaho fucking backyard wrestling. I'm telling you, they would show up in gymnasiums if they could. Unless, they would continue wrestling, I think. Now, you're right.
At least all the real wrestlers would. All those that are just there for a big paycheck would leave as soon as the money dry out.
Well,
you still see CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, like you said, wrestling in gymnasiums.
But wrestling is way better now than it was. They do get breaks. They do get time off now. You know? I mean, especially the senior
true.
guys.
All the people dying are in their 50s.
Yeah,
we have to see how this young breed comes through. Everyone in their 20s, right? All the champions right now are in their 20s. Every single one of them.
Yeah.
So we have to see how these people do, because this is the new era that they've been living in, and we haven't seen them at the end of their career yet.
The death rate should be slowing down. We should see that slow down. Warriors, one of these. There's going to be a lot of smaller names that go at some point because you're in your 50s, 60s when people start. That's, That's a huge point where people can drop. In their late 40s, 50s.
Younger. I mean, let's face it.
They do. I mean, I agree with you. This is not...
Anyone on the road dies younger. That's just, if you have the road lifestyle, no matter what you're doing, you're going to lose a couple of years off your life.
Yeah, you're doing anabolic steroids, you're drinking, or whatever. Even if you're not drinking, you're taking pills, you're doing cocaine.
Lack of sleep over so many years,
no
that
sleep
alone contribute to so many things.
No REM sleep.
It is still a very physical industry.
Yeah, and then the physicality, the heart, the brain, the concussions, the undiagnosed concussions, the unknown about concussions that build up over time. Look at The Undertaker in his match. Oh, my God, he couldn't even function. Look at Christian. Christian does interviews. It seems like he's okay. He can't wrestle because he can't take a bump because stuff's going weird. Look at me for 6 months.
Look at what did to Edge.
Yeah, Edge. All that stuff. So... the new guys don't want to go on vacation because they don't want to lose their spot. That's a different thing. But
I'm talking about the entire thing. WrestleMania, everything shuts down. You run best of for a month on those shows.
Oh my God! But that's the worst time. That's the worst
season.
But that's the worst time. The night after Raw draws some of the most money, and they go and this is a catapult right now.
But there's got to be some time.
Take off December. Go ahead, take off December. It's the shittiest time in wrestling.
Or right after SummerSlam.
Or right after me.
SummerSlam for Royal Rumble really sucks.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, right, usually. And then right after Rumble.
Except for, well, we thought it was sucked this year, but then looking back, no, it was the way they turned it out. It actually was all worth it. I mean, we started the show at SummerSlam, and look at the ride we just took. I mean, and we just got off now, you know?
Yep. You guys have been on at this since Daniel Bryan started getting huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, this build-up SummerSlam to Mania was really important, and they wouldn't have been able to do all this with Bryan if they didn't have that 8 months. So, and that's the other thing, like where they would have to rework their entire system to write within seasons rather than just write anything at the drop of a hat.
Every other TV show does. Why not them?
That's what sets them apart and why a lot of people watch, you know?
I mean, I can't believe if you guys couldn't watch it, you had to watch best of for a month, that you wouldn't pick it up a month later. I think, I'm sorry.
Oh, we would, but I just think the business would suffer. I mean, what they would have to do, I think the better way to do it would be to write it so that wrestlers get kayfabe injured more often.
There you go. That's how
so
you do
give
it.
Different guys, different breaks at different times.
Sure.
Yeah, that works.
Only the top guys are going to get it. That's my problem with that.
Right.
You know, the only top guys are going to get their real leave request, so to speak.
Well, no, I mean, the top guys, I'd say they'd want to leave less. Look at John Cena. When are you going to give John Cena time off? You know, he has to work 24/7 if they want to make money. I think people like Rey Mysterio can take
time off SummerSlam.
What's that?
The last time I remember John Cena taking time off was SummerSlam.
Yeah.
That's because he had
even then,
like a fucking softball on his elbow.
Yeah.
People were freaking out about it, though. I mean, on Total Divas, he was like, this is my career. I don't know how I'm going to take 3 months off. It's going to ruin the WWE.
Because John Cena has the same drive as Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon's attitude is, I hate sleep. Vince McMahon hates freaking sleep. He hates it, despises it, doesn't want to do it. Likes guys
Whenever you ask him in interviews, when do you find time to sleep? He laughs and says, I don't sleep much.
Right. And he will not. Vince McMahon is the type of guy who won't let you know he's hurt. Doesn't want you to know he's hurt. Doesn't want to be seen hurt. Absolutely despises
it. They could have a rotating schedule where they give different guys time off at different times so that the entire roster doesn't have to work all the same days at all the same times. All they'd have to do is, I'd say, increase their roster by about 0.5, you know? And
again, if you're joining us, Ultimate Warrior has passed away. Apparently now WWE is mentioning that it's of natural causes, and he apparently collapsed going to his car from a hotel room in Arizona. Is that correct? Is that what we're hearing?
Yeah. I think that's what TMZ said.
TMZ saying that. TMZ reporting that.
Another update has found that Hulk Hogan put on his Twitter, rest in peace, Warrior, only love, HH. And then Kevin Nash, he put, so happy I embraced Warrior with a hug when we saw each other backstage Saturday night. My heart goes out to his family. Always believe.
Oh, yeah.
Jaron, let me ask you a quick question. And Joe mentioned this a while back. It's had me laughing ever since. Your house got taken over by spiders?
Wait, what?
He's talking about the
night
spiders.
You got a pipe burst in your house. Joe mentioned at one point your house had been taken over by spiders.
Oh, yeah, I have black widows like all throughout my backyard, and I was collecting them for a while, and I was making necklaces out of them. And,
are you a sadist?
What?
Are you a sadist?
No, I wasn't getting bit by them. I was just
kind of thinking the same
containers
thing.
and snapping them up. But anyway, I had about, like, I don't know, 15 to 20. And what I would do is I would just catch them in Tupperware, put the Tupperware in the freezer until they stopped moving, and then take them out and drop them in rubbing alcohol, and that's how I preserved them. But anyway, so instead of, I mean, it wasn't because I was bringing the spiders in the house, but just because I wasn't clearing them out of my backyard with poisons. They were allowed to live. One of them must have laid an egg somewhere, because one day I got home and they were tiny baby black widow spiders parachuting all around my kitchen.
Oh, you're gonna get soon. You got to knock that shit off.
Oh yeah, I know. So we went out and we bought some Lysol, and I made flamethrowers and we torched most of them, and haven't seen any since. So
yeah, it worked. Oh,
yeah,
man.
there you go.
Well,
thank you.
Epic.
I've been looking on all the sites trying to get some other info, and there's not much out there other than the report about the stuff in Arizona and the TMZ stuff.
But I tried looking some stuff up before I called in, and again, it just says it's just tweets from WWE superstars, and no one seems to really know anything right now.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot, and if it's natural, and if it's real natural, you know, I mean, which they're saying, so I got to believe that is the case, then we're not going to know for probably a while. Probably 2 weeks to a month if it's natural. So, unfortunately, we're going to sit here wondering about all this. Kevin Nash, of course, like you said, tweeting that he was happy that he got to embrace Warrior the other night at the Hall of Fame, as many people probably did. WWE Network has just removed the Hall of Fame from its listing.
That's weird.
Really?
That is weird. I don't get that.
Why him? Why couldn't it have been Dixie Carter?
Oh, I just why would they remove? Why would they remove that from the network?
That's so weird.
Like find out what happened. It's probably safer for them to take it down, just in case something does get released and they do get bad press.
Well, how bad could it possibly? How bad could it possibly be? I mean, it's not like he pulled a Chris Benoit on himself. It would have to be his family involved or something, you know? Like, even if it was suicide, worst case scenario.
So that's the last thing I want to think about.
I don't know. I'm trying to find the Hall. You're right. The Hall of Fame. I can't.
Maybe they edited it out.
If he did go Chris Benoit, then he'll officially become one of those taboo subjects.
I think, honestly, Chris, I think these guys have a point. I mean,
no, I'm still able to watch the Hall of Fame.
Oh.
I don't think they've removed it. I don't know.
What were you gonna say, Tommy?
Hypersensitive company.
Yeah, that's true.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know the facts.
It is not removed from the Hall of Fame.
Remember, he quickly turned around, did a 180. I could see his reflection in the mirror, and he was trying to keep from laughing.
Hopefully they don't make a big investigation out of that.
I mean,
Stand by it. If he pulled a Benoit, he officially becomes taboo.
No.
But the thing is, his family is
I
safe,
mean,
so he couldn't have pulled a Benoit.
Right, he didn't do anything like that. He just collapsed outside, and
right.
We're gonna find out that this is a heart attack. Guys, this is, I do have to bring it up again. It's youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. Guys, with the breaking news that I had to come on here for. God damn it, we need some sleep. But I don't think I can sleep. I'm hyped up now for the wrong reasons because the Ultimate Warrior has passed away, and he's collapsed going to his car from the hotel room and died of natural causes. WWE.com, TMZ reporting this. It's starting to make its ways around. We don't know a ton of information at the time. And if you're watching me right now, you can send me your questions about this, your comments. If you have something important or valid or interesting to say, you can email me. I do want to give it out again. I did it last night. I've been thinking about giving it out more because you guys, you want the question and answer videos, so you just got to email me for them. That's joecroninshow@yahoo.com. Of course, none of my videos when a wrestler passes away get monetized. I just like to bring that up because I get disgusted whenever, and I know this is what the news does this every day. They have commercials and then they come back and tell you someone's kid's dead. But YouTube people do this too. But there's a conscious effort to click on a video and say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna make a ton of money off this. I can't wait to announce this." And that's how I feel. So I never monetize these videos like almost every other freaking guy does. No IQ and all those guys. Whenever they make a video, this guy's dead, and they get 10,000 hits, they're jerking off because they know it's going to get a lot of hits. I will not monetize my videos when somebody dies to capitalize on views, especially since I know I was one of the first people to upload a video. This thing is not getting monetized. It didn't happen when Big Daddy V died. It's not going to happen going back. It's the worst thing I think that you can do as a YouTube person if you actually care about people.
Right. I agree with that.
Now, you have all the right in the world to do it, and it's what the news does. Every day the news does it, but you know what I mean? I just can't do it. It's kind of...
I'm seeing if you guys could put a video up about this.
It's like abortion, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone has a right to choose, but I would never do it. I feel like it's everyone's right to choose, but I could never say, honey, no, let's not do that. Unless my girlfriend was like trying to, kill me with razors and like ate cocaine every day. I don't know. Then maybe I'd be like, you're right. Maybe we should keep away from that. But anyway, I don't know. What do we got? I'm out of thought right now.
I got Chris Jericho posted that he is devastated by the Warriors passing. He's a childhood hero of mine. Lou Ferrigno of the Hulk fame, said he loved the Ultimate Warrior. John Cena, you said that you will forever be remembered as not only the greatest, but an amazing Hall of Fame legend. So I just wanted to put that out there, that that it is getting around to the other wrestlers around the WWE universe.
Wow. And you got to remember, despite everything in his past, amongst today's wrestlers, he is still a great hero.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. The old crowd of guys may not be a huge fan of his, or some don't even really like him. But guys like John Cena, Ted DiBiase, Randy Orton, they all have a lot of respect for the Ultimate Warrior.
Yeah, Ted DiBiase, I thought was great in that DVD. I guess he ripped him on an extra or something, but I remember DiBiase, yes, he acknowledged the faults in certain times, and he seemed to tell the truth, but he also told it he was a nice guy. He wasn't being a bully like some of the other guys were.
He was kind of neutral.
Yeah, he was kind of neutral. You know what I mean? He was like, he's the type of guy that, some bosses will say, you didn't make the best decision on that one, but you know what I mean? I understand why you did it, but you need to figure it out. Where another boss would be like, well, this guy was a fucking idiot. You know what I mean? Like, Ted DiBiase was a real, I feel like he's a real nice guy. I don't know how to explain it properly, but he was real nice about the war on the DB. He was the one that stood out as one of the guys I thought was kind of nice. And Warrior called him out in the Hall of Fame, but I don't remember what he exactly said, if he was calling him out or if he was acknowledging him in a good way. I don't remember if it was negative, positive, or just funny. I don't remember. You remember that, Tosevich? You asked if Ted was there.
Yeah, and then Ted DiBiase stood up, and he actually had something nice to say about him after that. I don't know if he was originally taking a dig and then basically cleared the air immediately after. I think that's what it kind of seemed like.
Maybe, yeah.
Speaking of which, why hasn't he been on TV as of late?
Why hasn't Ted DiBiase been on TV? He was at WrestleMania, right, with that little skit with in the back.
Yeah, he's backstage a lot, actually.
Yeah, he's always back there running around with the dollar signs on.
Batista tweeted...
Action, at least.
Big Mando
Batista
says...
tweeted... Oh, wait, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, Big Mando said, did anyone notice the Hall of Fame speech? The Ultimate Warrior was holding his chest. I mean, he was a little bit. I suppose he was.
Yeah, true.
He was taken back. I mean, he did look taken back at the Hall of Fame, and he did maybe again even on Raw. But I just noticed the way he walked on Raw and the way he tried to attempt to shake the ropes, and in the Hall of Fame, he did look a little out of sorts. But I don't know. I can see how it would have happened. It's just so.
It's just been a long year for wrestling, hasn't it?
This is like. Think about when it happened to Jerry Lawler. You know what I mean? He just got in the ring, got his adrenaline going. He got in the ring, and
he
after
went back to Coliseum, he fell over.
Right. And
there's two tweets I want to read here.
Yeah.
Batista said, "After all these years, I finally got to tell him that me shaking the ropes was an homage to him. Blessed to have had that moment."
Oh, that's nice.
And Daniel Bryan said, "Heartbroken. My sincerest condolences go out to the Warrior's family. Seeing how much he loved his daughters and his wife this weekend makes it all the more heartbreaking. The Ultimate Warrior was my favorite as a kid, and getting to speak to him this weekend was one of my favorite moments. He was so nice to me. Rest in peace, Warrior."
Wow.
The torch passed.
Jake the Snake said, "Deeply saddened. We just had a great talk and buried a senseless hatchet. Talked working together. Rest in peace, Warrior. Taking solace. We made peace."
Oh, wow. Probably a few minutes.
Good stuff. I got more details. I mean, it's not too much more details. Wrestling is reporting that he was actually with his wife at the time of death at this Arizona hotel, 5:50 p.m. Apparently he was just heading. I mean, I think it's fair to assume that this is in the heart attack realm. If you're planning to go out somewhere and pass out on your way to the car. This is obviously unexpected and more likely natural. I think we can safely assume that.
Yeah, I believe heart attack. That's what I believe. And
I'll be honest, maybe it's strange for me to say this. For me, heart attack is sort of the bitterest, sweetest of the bitter evils, if that makes any sense. I'd rather him go out something like a heart attack than to go out the Chris Benoit way.
Right. Agree.
I'm just upset that I'm just bothered by his two kids. I'm still bothered by that. That guy should have had another 10 years at least. Sure. So that's what freaks me out.
They were just about to be getting more money too, and I know money was always an issue for the Warrior because as much as he can promote himself, I mean, there's nothing like a WWE paycheck. And if he was an ambassador, that's usually what people refer to themselves as when they have a Legends contract, because it's in the Legends contract that you will be an ambassador for the company. And a Legends contract is nothing to cough at. I mean, it's a pretty good chunk of change every year. So their life was probably just about to start picking up.
I mean, hopefully, I can imagine the WWE giving them, you know what I mean, using the Warrior.
Oh yeah, they're still gonna get the money, but I mean the point is, like, all together as a family, they were gonna finally have some cash in their pocket, you know.
So let me ask: Did Ultimate Warrior officially sign over his intellectual property rights?
Oh,
that I don't know.
No, I think the Warrior
over to the WWE, or his wife will pull an Owen Hart.
Well, I don't know about that, but I know when the Warrior. They could, because the Warrior did own his stuff. So when they came together, it's a contract that's, you know, he's working for them, but he owns the intellectual properties. You understand? And that's something he would write up in the contract. He wouldn't just give anything to them, because he is so much about his own character and himself.
And him and Steve Austin did similar things at similar times in their careers, where when Austin was kind of at odds with the WWE, or at least it was, you know, it was a question whether or not it would always be a thing between them, he legally changed his name to Steve Austin. So no matter what, I mean, they can have all the intellectual property rights they want, but he would still be Steve Austin and be allowed to use that name because it would be his legal name. And people give Warrior shit all the time for picking the name Warrior and actually putting it, you know, on his ID and shit. But that, once again, kept his intellectual property safe to an extent to where no one could tell him he couldn't go around calling himself the Warrior because that's his name.
Yeah, it's about being. It wasn't about being weird.
Yeah, it would be like if someone told me, I mean, and I'm only a small little fish right now, over 4,000 subs. It'd be someone like me. If I called myself, oh, I'm not Joe Cronin, you know, say I wasn't Joe Cronin's show. Say this was the Megatron show or the Mega Dude show or the whatever show I wanted to title it. And, you know, thousands of people started knowing me for that. And someone came along and said, no, we're going to take that back. And you're not that. I mean, you'd freak out. You'd be like, I lose everything if that's not me. If I got to be something else, that's not me. Mm-hmm. And so to protect it, that's what he did. I mean, and of course, my real name is Dan, but I go by Joe Cronin Show. And if someone told me I couldn't use that, I mean, that would be terrible. I mean, the closest person with my name is that baseball player from back in the day.
I was about to ask about that, actually.
Yeah. Well, my dad's name is Joe. His
actual name is Joe Cronin, spelled the same way.
Well, yeah, my dad's name is Joe Cronin, and my middle name is Joe. So, and I didn't want to be Dan because I had all these other YouTube videos and things, and plus there's a comedian, Dan Cronin, and lots of those things.
Plus, if you're looking for a job, you don't want someone Googling Dan Cronin and seeing like a life story on the internet.
Maybe it's easier, too. So if I make a video about, you know, jerking off a teddy bear with a banana, you know, it's Joe Cronin. You know, you look up Dan Cronin, and all of a sudden, hey, I work with that guy. Wait a minute, oh my God. What? You know what I mean? So, no, you don't do that. Jenny Garcia, what's up? I agree with Brandon. I'm a certified EMTV with the Red Cross Volunteer Fire Department. Many do indeed know when their time is coming to an end. And you're right. He may have been, like you said, he was winding down. And when he left Raw, he was like, man, that was as high it's going to get again for a while, even though I'm an ambassador. That was
sort of like what Patrice, if you guys remember who Patrice O'Neal is.
Yeah,
one of the greatest comedians of all time.
He's a local guy here.
Roast.
Yep.
He said, this will be my last show ever.
Yep.
And it was.
Yeah. And that was a similar situation. I was surprised when that happened too.
I feel bad for Patrice's family too. And if anyone out there listening, go buy Patrice's album because all proceeds go to his family, and that's what he said. If I ever pass away, I want to make sure my family's taken care of. So
not to fully
go buy it.
Jump off the Ultimate Warrior stuff right now, but real quick, Tall Guy SD said Taker just did an Andre the Giant and put over the WWE Network. That's a very interesting comment by losing the other night. LegendMixtapes.com. Warrior dies, Taker loses, Daniel Bryan champion, WWE's over. Well, everything except for the Daniel Bryan thing doesn't make sense. I love some of the guys on YouTube that are like, Daniel Bryan sucks, and everybody thinks that, so this doesn't make sense. Everybody thinks that. Is that why everybody in the arena was yesing the other night? I don't understand that.
People don't realize...
Isn't it a little early to get flipping out on Bryan? I mean, isn't it a little bit early?
Yeah.
Daniel Bryan, I'll admit, while at the same time he is a great wrestler, he also is a great symbol, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
because he represents everything that Vince McMahon's original idea of a champion is not.
Yeah.
He's small, he's lanky. Forgive me saying this, the goat beard and everything.
Right.
And Vince McMahon, and probably when he first saw Daniel Bryan saying, "Dear God, what are we going to do with this little freak?"
Guys, if you're watching right now, I want you to go ahead and click the like button. If you love The Ultimate Warrior, we're not going to monetize this because we don't make money off of legends that we love. But what we can do is click the like button and spread the talk that we've been talking about The Ultimate Warrior tonight. And click the like button and stick the thumb up my ass. And let's get it to, what's a good number for the Warrior? What do you think, 100?
100.
100. It's like the infinity symbol. Let's get this to 100 likes if you're watching on your device right now.
The Ultimate Warrior is, despite everything, he honestly was not horrible health compared to some of the others.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think so either. He was always working out. He had tons of videos. Visit thewarrior.com. He would like cut his little promo about his website. You know, I mean, he was working out. He was fit, but I think he had a stress. You know, he had the stress. He had the roids from back in the day. Maybe I mean, I don't know, man. He did have that look of exploding, though. You know.
This isn't meant to sound like a joke, but I mean, it is kind of eerie that he was like, ha ha ha, DDP yoga, but Scott Hall and Jake the Snake are still here, you know?
Yeah.
Granted, even if Jake the Snake does have the big C right now.
Something-year-old, really?
Well, he got that cut out of his leg, so.
I agree.
I don't know. Still up in the air.
Yeah, I think that the proceeds from the Ultimate Warrior video is going to go half to his family.
Happen, but
I hope so. I hope it goes 100% to his family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Cap? Sorry. Love your show, Cronin, he says. Well, I love you too. I don't love that the Warriors left us here, but that's what's happened. Thanks for clicking the like button and sticking the thumb where the sun don't shine, guys. Thanks for subscribing to me, all you new subscribers. It's great to be here with... it's not really great to be here right now, but we're here with... and this is therapy, I guess this is right now. Live on the air therapy for all of us. As
we're amongst friends.
Yeah. We're all...
Yeah, I was like, you want to go live? Because I can't just sit here with this news sitting on it by myself, you know?
I was thinking it, too, and I was debating on it, and I made a quick video because I knew I had to make something real quick. And
and before we go on, Tommy, I want to say I'm a huge fan of your videos. I've been meaning to say that for a while. You're funny as hell, man.
Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. But I guess... you know what? For the same reason Joe doesn't want to monetize, I don't want to sell myself. I just kind of want to be a part. But I do appreciate that. That's very humbling when I hear stuff like that.
But I'll sell you. Tommy C, a shot from the point. Go check him out if you like hockey talk. It's a Shot from the Point Productions. Are you going by, what's your actual thing now? Is it Shot from the Point or Shot from the Point Productions or a Shot from the Point?
The channel's called Shot from the Point Productions. But what we do is, of course, we have the podcast. It's similar to this. And then we have a new show that we're going to start reproducing the next week or two called Epic 3. That's like Ray William Johnson's Equals 3, but with hockey, weird hockey videos. And then, I pull out some clips and I'll put them on there. Sometimes I'll alter them or what have you. So it just, I specialize in bizarre hockey stuff. And
what branch are you in, if I may ask?
Branch of what?
Military.
I was in the military. I'm no longer in the military. I was Army. And I was what they call a commo soldier, communications.
I've got a buddy in the Marines doing that, actually.
Oh, really? You're in the Marines now?
I couldn't enlist. My eyesight is too horrible.
Oh, okay.
I was born legally blind.
For the second day, for the umpteenth day in a row, I made this face when I found out about the Warrior. So that's, I mean, yeah, to be honest, I made that face again. I mean, this WrestleMania, because not just because of the Warrior, but just this WrestleMania anyway. I don't think we'll ever forget this WrestleMania. I mean, there's WrestleManias where everything starts to clog together a little bit, and I gotta go look it up to remember what happened.
This may not be the best or worst WrestleMania, but it will be easily the most memorable.
Yes, this will be one of the most memorable manias, maybe
ever. Up there
ever.
with 1 and 3.
Up there with 1, 3. Even I remember 10 like this. I remember 12 even. I remember certain ones. But this will be
3 on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah, this is something where it's like, hey, Man, remember WrestleMania 30? When it's WrestleMania 40, we're gonna be like, hey, dude, you remember WrestleMania 30 when fucking they launched the network? We had all those problems, and I had to buy it on pay-per-view anyway. And the Hall of Fame was 4 fucking hours long. And then the Undertaker had his streak broken by Brock Lesnar and Daniel Bryan, and then the Warrior died the next night. I mean, holy shit.
It's been an incredible year, and I think you could take the, just SummerSlam this past year, and it just happens to coincide with your show. This is the end of the PG era. We are moving into a new era right now, and I think this kind of...
I hate what Triple H calls it.
That was originally CM Punk's name for it, to be fair, and then Triple H took it over.
Yeah.
But the PG era?
The reality era.
Oh, the reality era. I don't know what it is, and you know what? They can name it all they want, but it'll become the fans eventually. The wrestling media and shows like Joe's will name it. But I think this is a new era, and I think he's right. I think we will remember.
See, I think this is something else. This is not that era necessarily. I think the era we're in right now, and I don't know what to call it yet, and I haven't come up with some kind of catchphrase here, but the era that I see is the era of the fans or even the internet fans. I feel like we're in that era. The people are dictating. The people want to dictate everything, and they're doing it because it's the PG era. That's what
the democracy era.
Yeah.
Forgive me, but I've got it. It may piss people off because it sounds like The Rock, but this may just be the people's era.
The people's era. There you go.
It is, and they're not. It's not that we're getting what we want either. I mean, we finally did with Daniel Bryan in a way. But we want young blood too. The people are telling WWE get young blood, and what do you know? All these NXT people are coming up the other night. Look what's happened.
Plus, whether they do what we say or not, at least they're listening now.
Yes, right.
And people are making more of a difference than we did in the PG era.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'll say the PG, this new era, honestly, I believe started at SummerSlam.
I'd say it started with CM Punk's pipe bomb.
Really?
I just put Jacker on, by the way. Jacker's joined us too here.
I'm kind of going through my Facebook, just like looking at posts on friends, and then I see this like post of the Warrior, and I look at it and I'm like, he passed away, and then I like read all the comments like, oh shit, Joe must be doing a show live, and I go to your channel, and of course you are. That's pretty much how I found out.
Not that he wants to.
No, right, but I definitely had to.
No, I know it's because usually, obviously you always do it Monday and on a pay-per-view. You hardly do it like on a Tuesday.
Tuesday's our day off usually. Flow day.
Yeah. But for the Warrior thing, is there did he say what happened? Like if there was a heart attack or something?
We don't know. It's natural causes. He collapsed, and we're all betting it's a heart attack right now, basically.
Oh yeah, it sucks.
But that on the way to his car with his wife at an Arizona hotel that he collapsed and then was rushed to the hospital and pronounced on arrival.
Yeah, well, at least he got inducted to the Hall of Fame before.
I just thank God that happened. If this was going to happen anyway, and I mean, oh my God.
And his promo on Raw, I think was almost better than the Hall of Fame because it was concise. It's something people can look at and watch without having to spend a half hour,
Yeah, or cut it up.
If you look at him during those events, he looks as if he's happy he's being honored, but at the same time, he doesn't really want to be there.
Because he knows he can't just do what he wants to do, which is get in the ring and go.
Yeah.
I heard, so Paige and AJ Lee, Paige New Diva, champion, she still has the NXT. I'm probably thinking she's going to drop it to someone, I don't know who.
I can't even.
But when I have a tournament for it, she'll vacate it. And
she should just vacate it because I couldn't believe. That's why when she came out the other night, I was like, wait a minute. See, my thing is now that was done at the last minute. Somebody decided that out of nowhere.
Yeah. Right, they would have had to drop the title otherwise.
Right, otherwise. But then again, maybe they would have been like, no, because then people are gonna figure it out.
What is it?
I have been saying this for months. They need to drop that butterfly BS belt and bring back the women's title.
Yeah, or just still call it the Divas. Just change the stupid butterfly.
Yeah, so I was looking into AJ Lee. I know, Joe, you don't kind of believe on the CM Punk thing. That's probably they screwed her. But then I looked into it and I heard that AJ Lee, she's doing all this thing of moving to Chicago with CM Punk. And I'm guessing they're also starting their marriage thing. I don't know. So probably she says, okay, if I'm gonna still be champion, I'm gonna have to take more tour, more more events, and if I lose it, then I won't have to do less.
That's a good point.
I don't know. That's what I heard. I was like reading through different things.
I mean, any wrestler, even female wrestlers, I mean, wouldn't the drive alone drive them beyond that? I mean, AJ Lee was a hardcore wrestling fan through and through her entire life. Do you think her dream was to marry one of the best wrestlers or be one of the best wrestlers?
Well, Punk likes crazy chicks.
If she's marrying CM Punk, she's accomplished both, I think. She's one of the best divas we've ever had, and CM Punk's one of the best superstars they've had in the PG era.
Maybe
but
they're
her
gonna
career
go
is still young. She could go another few years and have even more of an impact,
Yeah. Maybe they're gonna go. Maybe they're gonna go start the straight edge. Maybe they're gonna go start a straight edge society.
If you had CM Punk, AJ Lee versus Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella.
Wouldn't it be great if AJ
Page, you got a good match.
How great would it be if AJ took a little bit of time off to go get married and have a honeymoon or something, and Paige was running wild with the belt? Then we see AJ come back to Cult of Personality. She changed her name to AJ Punk, and she ups her mic skills tenfold.
But wait, talking about that, Daniel Bryan, Brie Bella, they're already doing their wedding plan. Like, so does that mean Daniel Bryan has to drop the title?
No, that's.
I said this Monday night. I will say it again.
That's personal. That's way different. Like if it's, I don't know.
I said this Monday, and I will say it again. The Bellas have been passed around more times than one of Snoop Dogg's blunts. I'm afraid you should be afraid of catching something. You should be afraid of catching something from her.
Oh man, Cena's gonna find you. I mean, Daniel Bryan. How about them with their girls? Do you think they'd be able to teach them a little better? I mean, I can understand, but
do you think they ever played Twin Magic?
Oh, maybe with Bryan. I think Cena would have like a. Well, actually, no. Cena would probably hook up with them behind. Yeah, Cena would. Didn't he cheat on his wife?
I think so.
No.
So there you go.
Yeah.
Oh, is that why they got divorced?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit.
But I don't know if she cheated on him though. First, I mean, I don't know if that's the deal.
It fell apart is the best way to put it.
Oh, you pussy! It fell apart. What a pussy. No. What do you mean it fell apart? Fuck that. Somebody did something nasty, and I want to know about it.
That's what I'm looking up right now.
I'll say
whose pink was in whose stink?
I'll say why 31 will be on one part better because for the Royal Rumble we won't have a bitch called Batista who can't even wrestle win a Royal Rumble. We're gonna have someone else. I wonder who. I'm thinking it's Cesaro, dude. I'm going with Cesaro. I don't know.
Calling it now, Randy Orton.
I like what VGAKVD said. He said I wouldn't just jump the heart attack. Plenty of things can cause someone to suddenly drop dead. Stroke, aneurysm, bacterial meningitis. Oh my God, imagine that. That's. I mean, I thought I had that after I got my head injury. I was like, oh my God, what if it's in my spine? I can't even pronounce that next one. Encephalitis, allergic reaction, diabetes. I mean, like I said, my dad had diabetes and he died of a heart attack. Same sort of deal, actually. It was really quick and out of nowhere. Fucking woke up at night and all of a sudden he wasn't awake. And then they took him and that was it. I mean, it was real quick, same type of thing. But that's a heart attack, and that's what a heart attack does. Teresa says, "Perfs to the end. You know it, baby. I'll make you come." All right.
So is the
John Cena blamed his divorce on the fact that they were remodeling their house, saying it caused unbearable strife between him and his wife.
Well, when you watch Total Divas and you see how John Cena is about his house, that makes a lot of sense.
You know what? Imagine John Cena when they're rebuilding a freaking house. The guy can't even deal with putting the fucking cups away with somebody else being in control.
It's gonna leave a ring. That's it. This marriage is over.
Apparently, one of the contractors filed a lien on the house for 110 grand, claiming that Cena didn't pay him for his work.
What? Maybe Cena thought it's
like wouldn't pay one of his contractors over 100 grand.
Maybe he thought it sucked. Maybe he didn't put all the pieces of wood the right way. Imagine him standing on the lawn, making sure they're doing everything the way. No, don't do that. Don't put it there. Stand over here as you put that in there. Because if you stand here, you're not centered to the ground, and I don't know. Like that's what. Watch Total Divas. What the fuck is wrong with him? If I live with John Cena, I would slap him in the face.
On that show.
Speak to me, Warriors. Yes, I fucking love the Warrior. I can't fucking believe he's dead. I want to kill myself. This is bullshit. This can't be real. No!
I got 2 things to say. So I'm guessing the dead man's going to probably make his retirement speech later on until he gets healthy.
I don't think Warrior is getting healthy anytime soon.
No, I said dead man. Instead of
Undertaker,
Joe,
man. Undertaker.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it because I think Joe would have been pissed from all that.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty fucked up. I mean, I know I love the Warrior. I can make jokes because that's the only thing that makes me feel better.
Exactly.
Oh.
No, but the other thing is like, I see a good match that I see is Cesaro versus Brock on the sense that CM Punk was with Paul Heyman for a while. He was doing good. I don't want to see
Cesaro get crushed this early.
I know, but wouldn't it be a good match?
No, I think Cesaro should wrestle Biggie Langston. That's what I want to see.
Oh,
yeah, grab that title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna have his actual match with Jack Swagger first. We gotta get that out of the way.
Rolls, that's for sure.
Well, yeah. That's gotta be the first startup feud.
Oh.
Does no one like Big E anymore?
On the follow-up, on the post-show from Raw, he was making fun of Swagger's hair, of all things.
Right.
Swagger does kind of look like Macklemore now. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, he does look a little bizarre. I gotta wrap this up, though. We can't do this forever.
Yeah, we're talking about Swagger's haircut. I think that's
I gotta wrap up the talk here. I gotta go to work.
I'm surprised with the new promos they with the new wrestlers, Bo Dallas, and what's that other guy? The party guy. Shit.
Adam Rose.
Adam Rose. Yeah.
Party guy. How the hell is he get
Adam Rose's gimmick is kind of like Russell Brand's character and get him to the Greek.
Right. Now, at first I thought he was a douche, and then I started being like, "Damn, I kind of want to go party with him. This is weird."
What's great is that accent is fake, you know.
Oh, it's totally seems fake. He seems like he's like Austin Powers, Russell Brand, and like Rick Rude or something had a kid. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah.
Some kind of mix.
It's great. I love it.
We got 69 likes now. All right, you know what it's time for.
You're gonna get fucking nuts.
In honor of the Ultimate Warrior, we got 69 likes, guys. You know I love the Ultimate Warrior. And at the beginning of the show, it was very somber, but I'm starting to not be able to deal with it, so now I'm getting goofy. But the Ultimate Warrior, we got 69 likes for the Warrior, so in honor of that, here it comes, baby. This is called the Thumb Up the Asshole. And it's only going to be done to the best Ultimate Warrior clip on the internet. Here we go.
Vince agreed.
Those of you with headphones may want to turn down your volume a little bit.
Of wrestling. And I had the chance to spend some time with him. He invited me to come to his place. And they're all there. Vince is there and Pat Patterson. I don't know who else was there. And Vince said they've got ulterior motives. And then he went and got Jerry Briscoe. We went in the shower, and he proceeded to have Jerry Briscoe from the backside. He was a real hard worker, just a grunty style, like he was grunt. So I was interested to get involved. And I told him what I wanted to do, have people put around me that could direct me effectively so I could go on and be successful at it and stuff. There were plenty of guys there, and it just grew. So we both let one another F it, and they were congratulating me, saying, man, that was awesome. This is really great.
Guys, the Ultimate Warrior is gone. I love the Ultimate Warrior. He was one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. And that's the bottom line. That's how I feel about him. He did so many things, and we could talk so much more, but I really do have to go to bed. I will miss the Ultimate Warrior. We will talk more about this tomorrow. This is horrible news. And once again, this video will not get monetized because we don't make money off of wrestlers who died. And I can't even believe he's gone right now. And I am at a loss for words. I just hope we get some more information on it. Guys, thanks for being here. Again, click the like button for the Ultimate Warrior, not for me. And thanks to Tommy from Shot from the Point, Matt, Jacker, Chris Tosevich, my co-host, and wherever Jaron is when he finds this out, who knows what he'll do. Now, he barely even knows the Warrior, I feel like. But that's it. That's all I've got. I have to go to bed. I don't want to. I want to talk another 5 hours because I know I'm going to be fidgeting in my bed probably watching the WWE Network on my phone, watching Warrior matches. But that's it. Goodbye, Jim Hellwig, the Warrior, the Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Legend. Goodbye.